13 years ago today, September 29th, 2009, wearing this exact same shirt, I started ARTV in my bedroom in high school. And now, look at me, stuck in the car with this kid reacting to 3 Days Grace.
I got something that I really want to show you. 3 Days Grace, Explosions.
You know, usually I charge people to do this, but you know what, John?
I'm in your car.
You're in my car. I can't stop you, so if you really believe that
I need to tell you about this so-called life.
All right.
Track 1.
All right, the electronics, all right?
Yeah. Let me get the lyrics up here for you. It's very important to have the lyrics. You're not going to understand. Here we go. We're at a stoplight so you can read.
Thanks. Can't live, can't die, can't breathe, can't laugh.
Hey neighbor, welcome back to ARTV and another episode of Rock Gone Wrong? Wait, I thought this was the channel's anniversary. Shouldn't we be doing something positive? Okay, look, I'm gonna challenge myself on this one. No bullet points, no notes, no script, just like how I used to do it. And I'm gonna try and do this Rock Gone Wrong and let you know why 3 Days Grace have become 3 days of regret. It's been nearly 20 years since the debut self-titled album by 3 Days Grace. For a while, they were on a consistent rotation of putting out a record every 3 years. 03, 06, 09, 12, 15, 18. But then, much like Muse, oddly enough, they broke the 3-year cycle here in 2022, releasing their new album, Explosions! The Canadian hard-rocking post-grunge band began with vocalist Adam Gontier, who was also their primary lyricist. Unfortunately, he left the band after their 2012 album Transit of Venus, which definitely was kind of a transitory album. I respected it for at least trying to do some new things. But now, after 3 albums with Matt Walst, the replacement vocalist formerly of My Darkest Days, I just have to say that I don't think it's really working out, and I don't see any reason for this new material to exist other than a contractual obligation, or maybe they just really get off on writing suffocatingly boring songs that they've already made 20 times over. If you've got the emotional range of an Idaho potato, then this album is for you. The well that it draws from is basically empty. And while there's a few songs that I do think have a little bit of heart to them, I'm talking in the likes of Redemption and Lifetime, I can see a little bit of an emotional range there, and the fact that Matt Walst is actually trying, the band outside of cuts like those just feels like they're on cruise control. They've got producer Howard Benson, who has been working with them pretty much from the start. They've used 2 producers their entire career, and they refuse to try anything even remotely revolutionary for them. People like to give Nickelback shit for staying in their lane, but my god, 3 Days Grace are swinging the hammer so many times. Like, how many times can you swing it before the point is driven home? We get it! It feels like every lyric is so nondescript and could be applied to anyone that they're just blatantly making these generic anthems that go out to every dude bro in his late 30s, early 40s who can't give up on the past and has never branched out in his musical taste whatsoever. I don't mean to come down too hard on anyone who still enjoys 3 Days Grace. Maybe you like what Matt is doing with the band, and I don't think his vocals are necessarily awful. I do think that they've gotten better as he's been with 3 Days Grace a little bit longer, but I can't help but feel like they're just trying to clone the early success that they had. The song structures. I mean, there's multiple songs on this album where I'm like, that sounds like one of their old hits. There's literally a song that just sounds like The Mountain off of their last album. I can't come out and say that I straight up hate this album, but I find it very funny at times when I shouldn't find it funny. On a song like the lead single's So-Called Life, Matt Walst is yelling about putting a chainsaw through the wall.
Feels like I wanna jump on a screen, wanna run, wanna fucking put a chainsaw through the wall. I thought he was gonna say he was gonna put a chainsaw through her.
Redundancy seen through a monochromatic lens is all this album Explosions has to offer. It makes statements that are about as grand as anything your local politician is pushing and selling and shoving down your throat. And I also feel like the conviction that it's performed with just simply isn't there. The bass lines are so incredibly boring. The drums and the programming are just dime a dozen predictable. Oh, they're working in the electronics at the start of this song. I wonder if it's gonna do. Oh, wait, no, it's doing the exact same thing, building up to the chorus. That's where the guitars and the drums kick in. Do you see what I mean here? I will always have a place in my exploded fiery heart for 3 Days Grace. They helped me launch my channel, and indeed, life started now. It became my full-time career. But in the same breath, I wish they would really fucking retire or stop making new records because it's getting embarrassing. We're gonna wipe the slate clean and dive into the track list breakdown, because there's a few that I want to pull out for just being polarizing or else what the hell was that? And then there's also a couple, like I said, that do feel like they're at the very least putting out a little bit of A for effort. The lead single, So-Called Life, we already discussed, kicks off the record on a laughably bad note, and from there it doesn't get much better as we move into I Am the Weapon, that feels identical to a couple of songs I feel like off of albums like Transit of Venus. Let's play a fun little game of redundancy roundup, because there's several songs that don't require any deeper explanation. Just this song generic, this song bad, let's just leave it at that.
I'm gonna hit you with the song Chain of Abuse. I really think that you're gonna feel this one.
Is it like generational trauma in a way? Is that?
It's everything, man.
It's everything.
It's everything.
To walk alone. When did this come out? Now.
It's not important. Don't you hear that 2004 style production? Bro, that clearly came out this year.
Chain of Abuse is pretty much Bully 2.0, a song that originally appeared on Life Starts Now, right down to the children's chatter that opens the track. No Tomorrow is a song that you can probably guess exactly what it's gonna say just from the title of the song, and I shouldn't be able to guess that much. There is no mystery. There is nothing that is left to the imagination. The descriptiveness is like that of a kindergartner. They just call it exactly how they see it. I will give unintentional credit to a few of the songs for just giving me some belly laughs. Like, I needed that in a way. A Scar Is Born is the first of those, and that pun in the title, as much as I do love me a good pun, this is not one of those. This song is written so atrociously. Every time somebody leaves you out of the group, a scar is born! Explosions might strut in the door thinking it's wielding a chainsaw, but in reality, it's a plastic butter knife that couldn't even saw through a fucking chewed up baked potato. The song Champion is ironically one of the biggest losers, as the start of the song is just hilarious. Mind of a soul of a
bottlenose dolphin.
Lifetime is definitely one of the better songs on the album. I think it's decently constructed. I feel like Matt's vocals do have a tender affectation to them that gets the point across without being too heavy-handed. It does feel a little bit more personal to him, or maybe the band, maybe they lost somebody in their life. Cheers to Redemption as well. As muted and generic as that acoustic guitar that opens the track is, I do feel like it builds up to something. Although I was having this really weird moment where I was listening to the album and playing Left for Dead, and then in Redemption he sings All Those Times You Left Me for Dead. R.I.P. one time to my girl Zoe, okay? We didn't make it out. From there you can pretty much feel your way in the dark in shuffle mode as they go from one trope to another. Souvenirs just gets overly reliant on these metaphors that do not work whatsoever, and Someone to Talk To just feels kind of pathetic in the sense that it almost feels like it was written by an 11-year-old, and Apocalyptica contributing to this. Just look at the difference between a song like this and I Don't Care with Adam Gontier, again, formerly of 3 Days Grace. 3 Days Grace and their collaborators have the exact same formula every single time. It's like 12 songs, 37 minutes. It's always in that exact same ballpark. They even know the song topics and identities from a mile away, and they fill in the blanks like it's a damn game of Mad Libs.
So the 3 Days Grace, I will say, sounds generic and gutless, but that's about as far as I could go. I don't hear anything outside of just doing the original to death.
Right. So you're feeling it then. You think it's valuable? So smiley ball? Are we getting the smiling ball for 3 Days Grace Explosions? Can I confidently tell my viewers that?
I'll tell you what. If I can remember what it sounds like within the next 5 seconds, then sure.
Okay, all right, 1.
Nope.
Explosions on Rock Gone Wrong is getting a 1.5 out of 5. I wanted to say a sincere thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel over time. This is going to be my final 3 Days Grace video that I am doing for anniversaries. It's 13 years, lucky number 13. I wanted to do it one last time, so thank you for watching. If you have any memories with the channel over the years, then leave them in the comments down below. Hit that like button, subscribe to Brad's channel as well. I'll leave it in the description, and I'll see you guys soon for more, for hopefully 13 more years of ARTV.